We're going.
Welcome, everyone, to the Entrepreneur Power Hour. Today, we're talking about ninja masterminding, thinking on your feet. Have you ever been confronted with a situation that's difficult and you didn't have any time or a little to prepare, but you had to come up with a solution? So tell us about any time and how you dealt with it so other people can learn.
I'll start us off tonight. You know, there's been some unexpected things that happened to me back in September. Well, I think, we all know what's happened there. And it was really hard at first. It was really hard to accept that I had a major life-changing experience that was thrown upon me. I wasn't ready for it. And it was really hard to keep that resiliency to a level where I was able to continue on with my day and what I was doing. And it's not always easy, but I think one of the main things that I kept in mind was that I'm going to get through it, that I was going to get through that time, and that I have to keep going with what I'm doing as an entrepreneur and as a friend and a son to my mom and a brother to my sister, and being a great friend to all of you guys, my family here. So that kept going through my mind, that I had to keep that positive state of mind no matter how I was feeling. I knew that at the end of the day I had people who cared about me and people around me that could provide me with the support that I needed while I was going through that difficult experience. And I'm very grateful for all of you guys. It's wonderful that I have a family of people here who believe in me enough to come on my show and support me and help me in my endeavors to become successful. So everybody, welcome. And somebody else, piggyback on what I said.
I had a crazy situation today where, obviously, just I was talking about this before, I went out to lunch with a coworker, and after lunch I wasn't feeling so hot. And I'm still not. But I'm like, I have a show to do. What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So, funny enough, the way I handled it was I got a bunch of water. I got a bunch of... I didn't get peppermints, but I got stuff like similar to that.
Right.
And then I got home real quick. I slept on the bus. Then I got home early, started the link, and then just kind of got together and drank more water. And I really didn't have time to prepare. You get sick and you have to do a show. It's crazy, and so many things go through your head. Am I going to make it there? Am I going to be able to do it? But when you stop worrying about all the external factors and you just do what you need to do, things somehow work out.
I hear somebody typing.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Carl. Just make sure you're muted when you're not talking, bud. That's all I ask. Rick and Cheryl. Go ahead, Kareem. Sorry.
Tarek said thanks when I sent him the link, so he might come on.
Cool. I appreciate. Good. So, Carl, you're unmuted. Go ahead, man. What are some ways you've dealt with unexpected events, and including something you were talking about? You were having health problems a couple of weeks ago, and it kind of threw you for a loop. So, how have you been dealing with that and keeping a positive mindset, Carl?
I've been tuning into my morning motivator, and I've been doing a lot of meditation lately. A lot of listening to Wayne Dyer.
Very cool.
He's the man in my eyes.
Yeah.
He really lets me fine-tune my mind, as well as his class.
I never have to.
The person I was just typing to, believe it or not, was Soul Dancer.
Never have to think on my feet doing it. Oh.
But I wasn't prepared for what they just told me. I've been working on file number 209. Well, apparently it's already been done. And nobody told me it's been done. I'm supposed to be on 216. Nice for letting me know. So now I got to drop that file that I was just doing, that I was doing the second pass of.
Okay.
Pick up a new file tonight.
So that was kind of unexpected, eh?
I guess you want to believe that was. Now I've got the audio file all set to run for 209. It's already done. Oh, nice. That's why I said I was just telling him, just tell Masha, thanks for letting me know as I spend hours on these crazy things.
Yes, I know you do, and you do a fantastic job. You and Marsha both do great jobs.
I have to be prepared to say, no problem.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears, move on to the next thing. Now, as far as health, I fretted and fretted over nothing, as Rick would probably laugh at me over in one way because he told me so. It was like
I'm glad to hear that, Carl.
it was like I go in there and I got 128/68 on one arm and 128/60 on the other arm, and they said that there's going to be a variance. And so I'm sitting there, oh my God, I'm gonna die. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. They might put me in the hospital, and so it threw me for a loop. So I had to bounce back from that. So it's been a little bit of an uphill battle, but I've managed to get my mind back into place.
Good, man.
Kind of like go to a place that you don't want to go to because it's your health.
Yes.
And when it comes to your health, you say, hold up, I'm scared, I guess you could say.
It's a natural reaction.
And so you've got to overcome the inevitable fear of that, because some people don't have that fear of that like that, but I did.
Oh, yeah.
So I've overcome it by going in and listening to Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer, and I think he's just remarkable.
Good.
He brings a lot to the audience. He brings a lot to people, about ego, about actually knowing about the person as well as what we're teaching here. But it's just, he did a lot of different other kind of things, and I've been listening to a lot of Tony Robbins. I love him right to death.
Yeah, he's great.
And I've been listening to motivational ones with Les Brown. I mean, ones that will just take you right out of your chair, because, you know, it's about programming your mind. Because if you don't program that mind, it can go anywhere it wants to. So you better prepare for things even though you don't know what's going to happen. You're going to just say, drop everything and shift gears into another gear.
Okay, yeah. Ron, if you're going to type, can you mute, please? And if you're going to talk, unmute. But we heard you typing, so just try to keep that in mind, please, if you could do that. Ron, we haven't heard from you yet, so what are some experiences you've had when you've had to, you know, unexpected events have happened and then you've had to deal with things faster than you anticipated?
Unexpected stuff happens?
How come you're not on camera, Ron? We can't see you.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. You know, if you wanted to watch the Little Rascals, you would get a good idea. You know, I look a little like alfalfa right now.
Stop worrying about me. You look fine. Self-conscious people.
Hey, bring it on, Ron.
It's all good, Ron, whatever you want to do. But, yeah, so, I mean, just segueing into what Carl was saying, you know, what are some ways that you've dealt with those types of issues when they've come up, when you've had to just quickly think on your feet and go, man, this is crappy right now, but I have to keep going and I have to get myself get my perspective back. I mean, what are some ways you've dealt with that when that stuff happens, Ron?
I found there's two options. You can either go one way or you can go the opposite way. You know, you want to run ahead on or you want to go the opposite way. You know, it really depends on my mood. It depends on the situation. If you know it's only going to get worse, and maybe it's not the best path to go straight forward. Right. You know, maybe you want to backtrack a little bit, but it really does depend on the situation. You know, if it's regarding like a health matter, you have no choice but to go forward.
Oh, of course.
But for the most part, it's usually unexpected stuff that do happen. It's something that you can handle in one way or another. The only thing I've ever had that's really sideswiped me really hardcore was a health issue.
Okay.
Or a divorce. You know, those are things that are kind of beyond your control at that point, and all you can really do then is to just kind of sit back. You know, go back and kind of get your head on straight. You know, whatever it takes to cool the jets.
Yeah.
You know, that's a case where it's meditation. That's, you know, the most important one when it comes to a situation that's really in a dire circumstance. Other than that, it's just you can kind of step back and say, okay, I made a mistake here. Okay, so what did I do? All right, analyze it, then I'll move forward from there.
Cool. That sounds good. Rick and Cheryl, what's up, guys? How you doing? You guys are muted.
Hello,
There we go.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
Ron. Mr. Davis?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know I worked in surgery for a long time, and it's a think on your feet job. So, like Cheryl goes, oh, tell them this story, tell them that story, tell them this story. But the basic premise of the whole thing is that I was prepared, not necessarily with the knowledge or the skills, but myself in surgery, where I had enough water. I was in shape enough where I had the stamina and the focus to do anything that was thrown at me. I had one particular time, Cheryl wanted me to tell this story. Like, I was a surgical assistant, and I didn't start any lines in people because that just wasn't my job. But that's one of my expertises, is venipuncture or arterial puncture or something like that, because I did it for many years. But I didn't have privileges at a hospital, nor do I do that every day. And they called me into a room and they wanted me to start an IV in this lady's neck. And I'm like, well, maybe not. You know, I didn't really want to do it. But then I thought, well, you know, the patient, they wanted a central venous pressure line. And I was never trained to do that. But I know the vessel that it goes into, and I know it's just a needle that you stick in there, you know, and they couldn't find it. And the only reason they couldn't find it is because the patient's head was turned like this. And the vessel was in the sternoclavicular mastoid muscle, like hiding in the muscle. So as soon as they back, oh, there it is right there. So it wasn't anything magic or anything like that, you know. And I didn't even know how to hook up the tubes, because I would go, oh, there's the artery right there or whatever, you know. And I stuck the thing in there. And I go, hey, Julie, do you know how to hook up these tubes? Because I don't know how.
Right.
Well, even today, like it seemed like, oh, a magical thing, but it wasn't, you know. And I had so many experiences like that in surgery. I remember one time that you might call this a mistake, but I don't know that I ever made a mistake in surgery, where I handed the doctor the wrong jig to cut the knee, because whole knee replacement. You may have heard me tell this, Chris. And they cut it and did all like that, and then they try to put the trial on there and see if the knee worked before they close it, and they go, holy crap, it don't fit. And they look at, well, what did you give me? I gave him a left leg instead of a right one. Okay, it was totally my mistake, or if you call it, totally my innovative insight. You could call it after that.
Yeah.
So the doctor checks the guy's feet. He was like this, like, why don't they call it duck feet or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I gave him the wrong cut. It straightened out his foot. So the guy got to right. It straightened out his whole walk, his whole gait, his whole, you know, because now he wasn't walking like a duck anymore. So the doctor actually figured out a way and wrote in the medical books on how to, I think it's called valgus deformity, how to fix a valgus deformity on the total knee. So, I mean, he became a big shot from my mistake. So, and what happened was, like, I knew that in my mind, like, maybe it's ego or whatever, that, look, I don't make mistakes, all right? Whatever happened, it's going to be a good outcome, I told the doctor. They wanted to kill me right there, you know? So whatever happened, it's supposed to happen. I'm telling you, keep going with the surgery, and let's find out what's going on. Yeah. Let's explore. They're analyzing it like, oh, God, and the knee won't fit, right? Let's explore what happened and see what it did. That's what I said. Yeah. At first, my heart just like went boom. It's like a 40-year-old guy we're doing his knee. He might not walk again from that crap, you know? Then when I find out, oh, I fixed him, you know, by doing that, and I don't think it was a fluke at all. Nope. If you looked at the jig and looked at the knee, you would have went, oh, if you cut it this way, or turn that way. But
cool, man.
I think all of us have things in life that we have to think on our feet. I mean, and the people that don't, they either retract or they go crazy. Like you said, you had to think on your feet, Chris, and get support, you know, from people in your life. And I think everybody has to. And it all comes down to being centered, really, and sort of grounded and focused and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Yeah, balanced. You know that. And preaching to the choir.
What about you, Cheryl?
I've mostly just tried to stay balanced, as he says, and take things one day at a time and everything. I know that whatever happens, that I'll be able to handle it. And I just go on from there, because like if you don't and you just go and crawl under a rug or whatever, you're not going to get anywhere.
She thinks on her feet. I took her to a foreign country. She couldn't speak the language. She never, she knew a little bit about Costa Rica. She read it in the books and stuff like that, but she did really well. I mean, she did better than me, And my last name's Rodriguez. They had a president there named Rodriguez. I always said, oh, that's my cousin, man. Just cruise through that culture,
Yeah.
And her Spanish was good enough where they didn't repel her or anything like that. So she was able to deal with people and relationships, keep balance, and then learn another language and relate when, she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think I ever walked away from a conversation without figuring out what both of us wanted and needed. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Even though I really don't speak Spanish very well at all, but we
Oh,
always figured out what each other needed and wanted. So that was,
those Spanish women are hot. I want to marry a Latina. I would really.
Go to Costa Rica. You can find all you want.
I should.
Just ride the bus.
Yeah, man. That's right.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Once I
really,
get the money to travel, I'm coming to Hawaii to see you guys, and I'm going to go some other places too, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fun to travel and learn different things.
Come crash with you guys for a couple weeks and then go somewhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah. Come see your potbelly pig and all your cool animals.
I have a wild razorback.
I know, man. I'm going to have to be careful around her, eh? She's
yeah.
standoffish, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
me too much. She's his baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Speaking of sitting on your feet,
Yeah.
I have feet when I come into the yard. Luckily, today she saw me coming. I think she smelled my hair or something, and she just kicked up her feet and snorted and ran off as fast as she could.
She's like 2 pounds.
But sometimes she doesn't. She'll come right for me. So then I have to think on my feet, like which one.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a really good learning tool, to live and interact with wild animals, because they have such a different energy than domestic animals.
Yeah.
And they're very sensitive to outside energies, and you learn a lot about the ground and the environment from them, and just by watching them, that.
Yep. Very cool, guys. So, hello, Francis. We haven't heard from you yet. How are you doing tonight?
I was muted. Now I'm unmuted.
Yep.
I never have to think on my feet.
You don't?
No.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, I don't walk. I'm in a wheelchair.
Oh, I love you, Francis. Well, I mean, how do you handle unexpected life-changing events when you're not expecting them? I mean, I'm sure, you've been through a lot, and because you've lived, you've lived quite a long time, so.
I don't get mad. I get even.
I don't get mad, I get even. Oh, that's cool.
Sounds about right here.
Yeah.
Well, I had a situation in one of the chat rooms here on Skype, and this one lady had been in business for approximately 4 years, and everything I put in the chat room, she'd asked me to remove it. Well, I found that she put up a link that she didn't take down, saying that she would build anybody's capture page for $10 a year or $20 lifetime. It goes against my grain when people take advantage of people because they are lacking talent or they're lacking a skill. You don't talk down to somebody. If you're the kind of leader that you would hope to be, you enhance that person's life and you teach them the skill they're lacking. So I just politely went out and designed a capture page. Coincidentally, it resembled hers a lot with a few tweaks of my own, and I attached links that were embedded in different places in the capture page to take them to videos that were self-explanatory and give the people a lot more information than her page did. And I just put a message in the chat room. I'm so glad I learned new skills with MMM Global and the tools that they give you to do things free. I love free, don't you? And I put the caption of my capture page, the embedded link.
Awesome.
And he said, would you please take your link down? I typed back in the chat room, I am so pleased with my newfound talent. I will not remove this link.
Stand your ground. That's Frances Richardson.
Nobody died and left her boss.
Hey, that's awesome that you was able to do that. That is thinking on your feet, though.
Well,
regardless,
she got my word that nobody died and left her boss. Was not queen bitch. I was. So
yeah, tell them get back in that cage, right? I mean,
yeah,
right?
Get back in your cage. We're moving. We're coming through.
Frances is awesome. Such a neat lady you are, Frances. I love it.
But I agree with her about thinking on your feet when it comes to MM Global because of that. Sometimes you walk in and they say, oh, no, I don't know if I've tried this task yet.
Right.
But yeah, you just explore it out and you find out how to do it and you feel, oh, I accomplished that. And it really makes you feel good when you do something that you never did before, like, what is it, daily action or something like that. It's a site.
Daily motion.
Daily Motion. And it's a new site, whatever. I don't know if it's new, but nonetheless, it's something that you learned how to do, you know, and by doing your tasks. And it's great that there's an opportunity to earn money and learn at the same time.
I don't mind looking over your shoulder and saying, try this or try that, but I'm going to let you stumble until you fall, and then I'm going to pick you back up and say, try this path.
That's the best way to learn. That's good, Frances. I like it. I like it a lot. So, Kareem, how you doing over there, man? You okay?
I'm still alive.
Oh, good, good. Well, get your ass on the camera, man. What the hell?
I will.
Yeah, green is my favorite color.
Yeah. Not mine, though. I will. Give me 1 second.
That's all.
Yo, we want to see your beer you're not drinking.
Just grinding your gears, Kareem. Yeah.
I'm sure his beer's going to be a little pink this time.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, Kareem.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'll get off.
Nobody's judging you.
No.
And you are a team player, and you put this together every week, and we're very grateful for your energy.
Yes, we are.
You may simply engage or not engage as you so choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, like the Seahawks in the first round. You can engage.
They made a valiant try, though.
They did. Yeah. Yeah, they did. So, guys, what do you think we could tell some people watching this about resiliency? I want to talk about resiliency now. And for me, it's been, I've learned to develop it through masterminding and meeting different people, much like yourselves, and people who have traveled different lives, lived different lives, and things like that. I think resiliency is a very important skill to learn in the face of a critical adversity or a major life change that you're facing that is completely out of left field. One of my resiliency tactics is music and practicing martial arts, remaining mindful that I have a greater purpose to serve, and I'm here to serve others and help others get off the treadmill as well, and get as enlightened as possible through my wisdom and everyone's wisdom here, and also gaining wisdom from other people, I think, contributes to resiliency, and because you don't feel so alone or isolated when you're going through something that is traumatic or that is sad or depressing, and that really throws your chi off. You know, your chakras get all out of whack. And I think I'm going to invest in some stones, different rocks that line up the chakras, and I'm going to start wearing those because I've heard some really amazing things about crystal healing that I really would like to get into.
That is empowering. I've used it. I've used it a lot, and
awesome, Francis. Talk about it.
Amethyst. Amethyst is very, very healing and empowering for me. But each person can pull a different vibe from different.
Right. Cool. What about you, Rick and Cheryl? Do you have any experience with crystal healing or anything like that?
You're muted, guys.
Oh, muted. Look at Rick trying to. There he is. There you go.
There we go. Now you're muted again.
Yeah, you hit it twice, guys. No worries.
We can see you, but you're muted. We can't.
Yep, muted.
There. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hey.
I had wonderful training by the at the time the man's name is Walter Sasse. He was the national the president of the National Psychic Association for I don't know how many years, and he was a crystal healer. He's gone now, and he developed and channeled what's called Atlantean energy, and used all these different crystals to heal chakras. And I got to was one of the people privileged to watch him do these healings. I don't know why I got to be that person. I don't know why, but we helped Walter a lot, paint his health and stuff. I myself have had some experience with crystals, but I'm not really a rock person. More have studied them and works with them and stuff like that. I don't possess rocks. I don't have any jewelries. I never wear jewelry, and but I know for some people that there's powerful energy in the rocks.
Yeah, and lots of them have so many different healing benefits to them. Big stuff out of them for years and years. One of my favorite ones is lapis lazuli, and I don't know, hematite, amethyst. All of the quartzes are really nice, really good feeling.
She made Marsha one.
Yeah, Marsha just bought one of the anklets that I made with lapis and clear quartz. It's a little guardian angel anklet, and so she's wearing that every day. But yeah, I've done quite a bit of different stuff with all of the, quite a few different crystals and stuff.
Kareem, what did you eat?
I had some Indian food for lunch, and it probably wasn't a good idea.
That'll do it every time.
It did her one time.
Oh, I was so sick. There was this weird little peanutty looking thing in there. If something comes in my food on my plate at a restaurant, I assume that you're supposed to be able to eat it. So I ate it, and oh, I got so sick.
They're like, do you want spicy, mediums? I'm just like, medium spicy. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, ah. And then I'm walking back from work. I'm like, I'll be okay. I'm like, I feel pretty good. And then like after an hour, I'm like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, what did they? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Do you have any oils?
No, I drink V8, and it makes me feel better.
oil is really good on your stomach for stuff like that.
That's the only thing
Just
that
put
works
it
for
straight
me.
across the stomach. It's really good.
I drank some apple cider vinegar. I'm feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, that would help.
But
Straight in there.
speaking of thinking on your feet, which this is interesting. I've been trying to contact an energy healer who I listened to for about 6 months. And then all of a sudden yesterday, he talks to me and he's like, tomorrow, we're going to interview. And I was so excited. And he really provided me with some insights that now I can take in the world. And I had a completely different day. I mean, granted, lunchtime wasn't so hot, but I'm really, really grateful that I met somebody, and now my head is clearer, and I'm not really worried about, like, I used to be always stressed out. Today I'm really chill, actually, other than the certain events that happen. It's interesting when you're just about to give up what life's going to throw at you.
It could be your body adjusting too, Kareem, to being around someone like that. If he was doing stuff with you, because I've had that before, where it's like somebody punched you in the stomach, man. I've been around energy healers, and I thought, it felt good being around them. I talked to them, this, that, and the other thing. And by the time stuff was coming out both ends, and I didn't with them or eat anything strange. So your body, your physical body, you wouldn't think this, but it can take a while to adjust to the different vibration.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a cleansing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the toxins coming out of you.
And then, like, they'll tell you too, energy healer will tell you too, and you're going to relate it to having lunch or something, Me too. I relate it to other things. I go, oh, man, I feel like crap because I ate this or something, tomato or something. I always say tomato. I can't eat V8, drink V8. Yeah.
I love V8. I was drinking them. I try and drink a couple, and then I tell Carl erroneously it's beer, and then he doesn't believe me anymore.
That makes him feel better. That makes Carl feel better. There's still somebody out there that can hang, right, Carl? Mute. He's muted. He's probably working on a new audio file and cussing right now.
My God, pay me what I'm worth. I'm not getting worth what I'm paid.
Yeah.
Soul Dancer won't let me use. Hey, you can use the I and we here too. We allow all pronouns.
Oh, is that how it is?
You.
All the pronouns.
You. Yeah, I know. Me. Yeah.
We're more advanced than pay me what I'm worth. You can use any you can use any pronoun you want.
Awesome. So we have free use of pronouns, huh?
No.
Aha. I knew that there was something up with that. No, actually, I was getting the audio file ready for after the show. Yes.
Yeah, we
knew, Carl.
No, I'm not doing the audio file because I can't hear both.
He'll be editing the audio file while listening to the thing.
No, that won't work. I want to hear this and put input into this. I can't do two things at once.
Nope.
That's like chasing 5 rabbits at the same time.
He's thinking on his feet. He's just pulling up the audio file. He's getting on the broadcast. He's jumping on the calls.
Now,
we're just
done very good. You can now cross the street and chew gum at the same time. Years, and like to be able to do 2 things, one with each ear.
Oh, is that how it is done? Oh, I always wondered how that happened. I was just thinking about that. When you go to a fair and
you gotta take your balance, babe.
Yeah.
When you go to a fair and you've got a kid and they've got a whole bunch of kids and they've got to wrestle a pig that's greasy down to the ground, I bet you they got to think on their feet real fast.
Even if they're not greasy.
Yeah.
Even if they're not greasy.
They're pretty. They buck all over the place and shake their heads like that. They get loose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your knees together or you don't stand a prayer.
Oh, it's just like trying to. I'm sorry. It's just like trying to chase 5 rabbits at the same time or 5 businesses at the same time. It's like, which one do I do next? We
And
can't
I've
do
done
that.
stuff like that.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, guilty.
Kareem never multitask.
No.
No, never.
No, Kareem doesn't multitask at all. No.
So, you know what? It's a skill, though. Hey, who helped you set up, get paid, whatever it is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. If you're not ambidextrous, they only want to pay you half your wage. Because if you be able to do the same stuff with your left hand and your right hand while you're talking to the nurses, you know?
I can do this.
Yeah, there you go. You're hired. When I tried to get in orthopedic surgery, the guy said, he looked at us, he's like, you'll never get in my room. We're like, why not? He says, the only way you're going to get in my room is if you can tie both your shoes at the same time. We're like, oh, crap. We were like 20 years old. We went home Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and practiced tying our shoes with both hands like that. So we finally got it enough to where we walked to his door Monday morning and said, we're going to be orthopedic assistants. He's like, oh, crap. When we showed him, we tied both of our shoes like that. Me and Joe, my partner, and he's like, crap, I got to let these idiots in the room. It took us, I bet, 20 hours.
Jeez.
That's how determined we were to do it, where it looked good.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a good goal. At least it got us in ortho, so we could learn to do hips and stuff.
You know, that doctor you just described reminds me of House. Have you ever seen House? That's such a great show. I love that show. It's hilarious.
It's like so ridiculous. We used to watch that, and no hospital is ever like that. Like, they're going to assign a team of doctors to you if you don't have a fat wallet. Are you serious? Never, ever do that, dude. Like, House can't figure it out. Rodriguez can't figure it out. Let's go get a team of surgeons and doctors to figure it out. Are you serious? I mean, you might ask your friend, and then he charges you, and then he puts it on the. No. I was in hospitals, and
he could always figure out everything that no one else could see, though. I mean, that's why he was so good, and he saved a lot of lives. Although he was kind of a misanthrope at times, stuff like that. But I mean, he
was
really
written in the script that way.
That's right.
Yeah. Because, well, actually, his character, the way Percocets, that's a doctor.
I like to watch the show and try to find the flaws. And
No.
yeah, every time I'm sitting here looking at Rick and Cheryl, and I can't help now thinking every time there's a medical show.
Yeah.
We're thinking.
Yeah.
They got the one on now where it's they're always doing surgeries and they don't have the mask. I tell my wife, I said, "Come on, come on, you're not going to have a mask on doing surgery." What?
That's not good.
Guys wore a mask doing surgery.
Yeah,
That's why I'll watch Scrubs. That's what I like. That's the only hospital show I like.
We stopped watching TV a couple of years ago. Only, like, it didn't. Like, we still, like, want to, like, we see a show, we think, oh, that's funny, we'll watch it for a couple seconds. No. I don't know why.
We don't watch movies or TV.
Not much movies either.
I notice when you don't do that, though, you don't watch TV, and, like, you get real productive. You're like, I'm going to do worth passports and get on shows and do and then people are just like, dude, you got to watch TV. And then they're just sitting there for, like, 5 hours. Check this out.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched, like, a football game, but that's it.
When she did watch, she's always doing needle paint or, like, making something or...
Yeah, doing some craft.
There's always one for
Yeah, I just edge out.
duck in front of the boob tube.
Yeah. I think I'm a movie freak because they're alternate realities to me. Like, I love film because of the artistry of it. Like, it's somebody else's reality, and they've put it into an experience, and that's why I love film so much.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. It's
I like
much more
it.
entertaining.
I want to watch it right now.
Unless it's Michael Bay, then it's just explosions and CGI.
Like Rob Zombie is probably one of my favorite directors of all time.
And who what?
He's got some of the most twisted realities inside of his head, but they always come out so well done and so perfect. I really, really like his work a lot. Shell's shaking her head like, no, I don't like Rob Zombie's movies. Have you seen any of them, you guys?
We never watched scary movies at all. Neither of us have.
Oh, wow.
Life is scary enough. If you're in the Army and worked in surgery, man, that was a horror show. I just had plenty of time just recovering from my job every day and dealing with the reality of it, people dying like that. So, like, I didn't watch too much in that. We tried to watch, like, happy stuff.
No, that's cool. That's cool, man. But like I say, film is other alternate realities, and I would actually, once I get rich enough, I want to make a film.
I'm a movie reviewer. So.
Oh, are you, Ron? That's cool.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, I usually see all the movies before they even hit the theaters.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you usually
the ones that we want to see, that tell us, Kareem.
I'd like to see.
Oh, it's Kareem.
You guys,
Sorry, Ron. Tell us.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
Good ones.
It's really funny because I see so much garbage out.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's I hate to say it. It's like every year there's I forget the last thing. I think it's like 120 movies a year that are released.
Wow.
And most of them nobody will ever see, and because they don't hit the theaters and all that. But maybe there's a handful that I'll absolutely am absolutely blown away with. Like last year, The Imagination Game was just an amazing movie.
I haven't seen that.
Oh wow! You gotta see that. It's about Alan Turing, the father. Okay. The father of the modern computer.
Okay.
And that was an amazing movie last year, and so was The Theory of Everything about Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
And it was really funny because when that came out, both of those I said these two guys are going to be up for Best Actor. And sure enough, they were both nominated for Best Actor. Benedict Cumberbatch and Eddie Redmayne.
Did you have you seen Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight yet? That looks incredible.
I have.
Oh, is it good, Ron?
I saw it a month ago.
Is it good or what?
It was long.
Yeah, it's 3 hours apparently.
Yeah, very long. I like more of the older Tarantino.
Okay.
I don't care for some of his newer stuff.
Okay.
We're going to have to put Power Hour. Movie spoilers may be included.
Hey, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I really do want to see it, though. I thought it looked incredible, and the fact that he was paying theaters to downgrade to 70mm Panavision, like that's him still doing the reel-to-reel thing. I really think that's authentic, and I really appreciate that in a digital age. So,
the irony is most of these movies that end up winning or being nominated for Best Pictures, they are really not designed for an enjoyable experience in the theaters.
No.
If I want to see something in the theater, I want something that's just going to be it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours long. I'm in there, I'm out.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was entertaining. Just that's all I want to go into a theater for is to be entertained.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily want to go in a theater and have messages parlayed on me.
Well, I think you can do both if you're clever. Like my favorite director is Spike Lee. And he's able to put a message across and still make a really entertaining movie and still get you to think after it's done. Like, maybe I could actually change my life like this, or maybe this is how people in these certain areas of the world or these certain economical circumstances get along. And why is that? I think that's why Spike Lee is really powerful dude. Plus he does acting, directing, like he does it all. And he doesn't rely on CGI either.
No.
I'm actually working on a script right now. So.
Wow, that's cool, Ron.
Let's rehearse.
You'll have to share it with us someday.
Misty Eyes of Heaven. That's what I'm calling it.
What's it called?
Misty Eyes of Heaven.
Misty Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah, it's a romantic tragedy, but it's based on actually it's kind of following a family from the 1920s up to modern day.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Not to interrupt everybody. That really does sound cool, Ron. I'd like to hear more about it, but we have to leave right now. We're going to go to the Souls Blues Buster class.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for class. And we'll see you tomorrow for class and next week as well.
Yep.
Okie doke.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you do.
We know, bro. We love you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Love you too. Bye,
Okay.
friend. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have fun.
Bye.
Tell Soul hi.
Will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're trying to log off.
You can never leave. It's like Hotel
Yeah,
California.
up here.
Can I have a moment of silence for Glenn Fry?
I was just going to say the same thing.
All right, moment of silence. Moment of silence is over.
Somebody else passed away just today.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Like, I know, I mean,
It's the Illuminati, man.
okay, let's.
There's a lot of celebrities.
We're all from the same generation.
Now, that's not an accident, so that's why I'm thinking that the Illuminati might have something to do with this, or a governmental agency might have something to do with what's happening.
I think they were just old. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, Kareem. I don't know.
I think a lot of it was because of the season that they were brought up in was heavy drugs, rock and roll, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were paying the ultimate price for the lifestyle they led caught up to them.
But you know what? They had fun and they inspired a lot of people.
That's
And
right. And love it or not, you're not going to forget them.
That's right.
And that's why I say sex, drugs, rock and roll, let it roll. When you leave here, love me or hate me, you're not going to forget me.
There you go.
And to tie that in with this, thinking on your feet, those guys, that's really what they did. I know Lemmy did with, I mean, they're all like really, really passionate musicians. And in that field, that's completely thinking on your feet. You don't really have time to sit there and think about what your next move is going to be. You got to keep the show going. And
Nobody-
even though,
Nobody lived their life like Lemmy, man.
I would if he came over to my house and said, "Let's party for 4 days straight," I'd be like, "Okay." Do I get to sleep? Yeah, a couple hours. You get to sleep 5-6 hours, sure. And then we're gonna get up and drink some more. Right on, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because if I was in a band and I was able to tour all around the world, you better believe I'd be partying my ass off. Maybe not every day, but at least like once a week, I would be getting just totally messed up, and just enjoying the experience of being on the road and playing for thousands and thousands of people. I mean, that's the experience of a lifetime. It really is. And what you do afterwards is nobody's business.
Actually, it's kind of funny. 'Cause I know you mentioned that you were talking about resiliency.
Yes, sir.
And I thought, how do we overcome unexpected things? Interesting thing about this is everything is meant to happen as it's meant to happen. So there's no reason that, when something bad happens, we almost have to put ourselves and think, why? Okay, great. This was meant to happen. There's a reason we have to work through that at some point or another. We're never going to know exactly why it is, but it's meant to happen at that point in time for whatever reason. And we're meant to grow from that moment. Whatever that hardship is, it's meant at that moment for us to grow.
Wow.
Huh. Actually, crazy enough, someone just said that yesterday. like I said, we interviewed that energy. He said the exact same thing in different words, that things happen. Your mind always tries to make tons of rationalizations and get like, oh, it happened because of this or that or the other, or because I wasn't a good dude, or because karma or whatever. And then our heart takes over and says, what is what is. And that's the way it is.
You know, yeah, another thing that people don't realize is they're always seeking something out. And that may be the worst thing to do. You know, just let it happen. Live your life. Let it happen. It's, you know, because like they say, when, for example, your heart, when you meet that person you're supposed to be with, people don't find them when they're really looking. It's like love enters your life when it's meant to happen. I had no intention. When my wife came into the picture, I just stopped looking at the point when she walked in, and there she was. What?
Ron was looking for love.
Well, not at that point. At that,
Love was looking for Ron.
No, I think my wife and I were both in the same spot. Neither one. We had dated a lot.
You know what I think happens when you get real passionate about what you're doing, you're just happy dude out there, and you have like goals and you have dreams and you really are making changes in the world. All of a sudden the universe, when you're in that happy vibration, just seems to like take you and match you up with someone just like that.
That's exactly right. It's positive is attracted to positive, negative is attracted to negative. You know, if you're not in a good spot, you're just everybody, all this negative stuff is going to come flowing in at the same point, and vice versa. When you're happy, for example, you're happily married, and what happens to that ring? All of a sudden, people start flaunting themselves at you, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm happily married, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, that actually explains it to me a little bit more, because there's always that phenomena when you're with someone, you're happy. Why is everybody trying to hang out with you? But when you were sad, it's the same thing with jobs too.
Yep.
And I think it's because you're living in the moment. You're thinking on your feet, and you're not worried about external circumstances going wrong. At least not to the degree you were.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think the whole topic of the show was about thinking on your feet.
Yes,
well, yeah. So you don't really need to think about it. Just let it happen. It's gonna. You got whatever tools you need. It's already within you. And whatever spot you're in, you're either happy, or you're not. If you're content with where you're at, everything's going to happen as it is meant to, and vice versa.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I said I wish I could change something, or then I get into the moment where I get out of feeling, and then I get into like that analytical, I got to change this. But if I did this, and if I changed that, I'd still be with her, or I'd still have this job, or I'd still, whatever it is, or I shouldn't have spent money. And then after a while, you get to the point and say, okay, I made a mistake. I learned from it for a reason. Then I move on. That goes with everything, relationships, your business life, whatever it is. When you can stop thinking about it so much, just get into the moment, then you can really think on your feet. And that's what I do at Toastmasters. I don't think, what am I going to say? I just kind of get up there and I just wing it. Even when they give me a speech, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I just come up with like 2 or 3 points, and I don't know how I do it, but I just do it. Probably because I'm not analyzing and thinking so much. I'm learning a lot from Pay Me What I'm Worth to start opening up and really expressing who I am, instead of just being self-contained and all about making money.
You want a great idea? Here's a great idea as far as anybody who's in marketing or want to draw some attention to their blogs or their shows or whatever. take a book like Carl says, Wayne Dyer, take your favorite book, whatever it is. flip it open. Just close your eyes, flip it open to, say, page 36. Find the first word out there. Write down that first word. Then switch to another part of the book, maybe 115. And then first word you see, write that word down. And then go to the back of the book, take another word, put that down. Now you got your 3 words, and see what you can create out of those 3 words. You'd be quite amazed with where it'll take you.
I like that exercise because you're not thinking so much of, oh, I got to pick the right word. Which word is the right word? You think on your feet, word, 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 and then you go with it. And then that's why I think organic art, organic speeches, organic shows like this one, and obviously organic programs are the best. Because they're not trying to tell you what you need to be or what you have to be. They just kind of let you flow. And I think that's why Bruce Lee was debatedly, if not the best fighter in the world, because he said, be like water, my friend. Really what that means to me is think on your feet, my friend.
Let it flow.
Let it flow. That's it. Well, and then the other part about that whole exercise, you're letting the universe guide your hand.
Yeah.
It's meant to happen. Whatever those words are, that's meant to happen. But if you're taking your favorite book, whatever it is, or maybe it's a certain topic you want to talk about, find a book that pertains to that topic, find 3 different words, boom, you've got yourself some magic getting ready to happen.
Yep.
And honestly, the magic is you just stop analyzing, you started thinking on your feet, you started being in the moment, and that's when real change starts to happen in your life, when you can just kind of feel your way through it. It's like heart-based intelligence as opposed to intellectual, where you have to find the right word.
Heart-based and spiritual.
Yeah.
Yep. It's good. It's good stuff. I think that a lot of people have to be aware of those emotions, and they have to be aware that, it's hard for everybody. You don't just wake up one day and go, I'm enlightened now and I can handle anything that's thrown at me. No, that's not how it works.
Nope.
Something you cultivate and you water and you care for, and it becomes, and then it grows. It's just like a garden, And I know for myself, it's been a long journey to even here. And it's going to be a long journey to the next plateau of my life and the next phase. But I'm on the right path now. I wasn't before, but I think that's how it is. You go through many forks and winds and twists before you go, oh, that's where I'm supposed to go now. Okay. And those aha moments, when they come, it's in order for you to stay centered. When those aha moments show up, you got to know that that's what it is. You got to recognize that's what it is now. This is happening now. And I know losing someone you love to a death, or one of your family members is dying of cancer, or fill in the blank, that it's really hard to keep that perspective. It's very hard to think, well, this is supposed to be happening. And of course, there's going to be variables into that, because I don't know if that's always the case. I personally don't think that you lose someone in a car accident because you were supposed to lose them. There is randomness in the universe at times, and sometimes it just happens and it's beyond your control. So I don't think we control every experience we have.
No, we don't. Yeah. Now, that's like I said, like I was mentioning before, it's a very universal thing.
If we controlled every experience we have, there's some people who wouldn't die, because who really wants to die or get sick or have negative things? If that was true, we'd all be like riding Lambos and living till 900. So it's not, we can't control everything. The only thing really you can control, and I like this, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. I think that's the crux of personal development. Someone asked me, really, what's the point? It's how bad stuff's going to happen to everybody. It's happened to all of us here. How do you react to it? What do you do?
Somebody asked me today or yesterday, talking about final arrangements and how would you like your final arrangements to be, or do you want these people to be at the funeral? Do you want to wait until these people can be there to say their goodbyes? And then they looked at me and said, well, you're really not going to know who's there, are you? And I said, I don't know. I never died before.
Yeah, that's there
You
you
just
go.
get up like, oh man, oh, that was a rough night.
Oh, my final expenses are perfect. I've got it all planned out. You know, I'm going to be, cremated, and then I want to be stuffed in a peace pipe. Pass me around, buddy.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
My sentiments exactly.
I think it'd be cool to be thrown into the ocean for some reason.
I told my pastor, we were talking about final arrangements, and I said, I'm going to be cremated. I'm not taking up any real estate. And he said, well, what would you want done with your? I said, I won't know. I said, I don't care. You can beat me to the fish.
Yeah.
He almost had a coronary. Like that's sacrilege. And I said, earth to earth, dust to dust, and ashes to ashes. I got very dry skin now. I'm not far from dust.
There you go.
Well, we're what's the difference if they're going to bury us or not? Because it's like
You're not gonna know.
We're going to be food for something else anyhow. So
Yeah, worm food or fish food. What the hell is the difference?
exactly.
Cool.
But
I mean,
I actually
I have to say, and I give you big props, because you mentioned a couple weeks ago you're thinking on having quality rather than quantity. And I made my New Year's resolution that in respect to growing my business, I wasn't going to spread myself too wide or too thin. I was going to go deep and instruct everybody in my downlines to do the same. Well, while I was training these people in that vein of thinking, this week my downlines have grown by 10 people alone.
Wow.
phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Last Tuesday. Because my downlines are putting across verbatim almost the things that I've taught them, the things that I've tried to stress in the way they should do their own businesses. And they just have spread it out to their own networks, and not everybody can know everybody, so it brought new meat to the table. And now we're having daily, or not daily, but weekly groups and subgroups where we're meeting and discussing just like we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a training on some aspect of that business or explain the issues going forward of speed bumps that we've had within a business, and take questions. And it's just been so much more productive. I haven't been doing the work all myself. I'm loving it.
That's great.
That is.
Isn't it so much easier?
Oh, it just really freed up my time to go out and blast out the power hour, and
Which we appreciate, Francis.
Thank you.
things
Yes.
that I was really stressing over. How am I going to ever get it done?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and now it alleviates a lot of that stress. So you're able to, instead of having to focus on, I got to talk to 50 people this week. I got my few people. I'm happy.
And let's do it instead of 50 in one group. Let's break it down to where I can interact on a more personal level with 10 people and get them off and running.
There you go.
And the other 40, I'll deal with in 10 groups of 10, and it just all falls together so much easier.
Yeah, like I don't, for the power hour and for other stuff, I don't want like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. I want 10 good people that I know I can trust, work with, and have camaraderie with. And I know if I have that, I can get 1,000 people because they're all committed to the cause, as opposed to like tons and tons of people that don't care or are flaky.
Yeah. I agree with you. Well,
Yep.
guys,
It's that time.
it is. We've been, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight to our wonderful mastermind. And as always, you guys are invited next week and every week after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a great mastermind tonight. I really learned a lot. I hope that you guys were inspired by everyone's words that you heard here tonight, everyone on the panel, and as well as our viewers. So Chris Peters here. We had Kareem Mays, my co-host, Francis Richardson, Cheryl and Rick Rodriguez. We had Carl Davis, Ron Lester, and we had Bill Maybauer for a little while. So guys, take care, and we'll see you next week for the Entrepreneur Power Hour.
Adios.
Everybody.
Adios.
Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha.